Welcome back to my channel. If a woman doesn't want you, she's going to show it. It just won't always be in the way you expect. A lot of men miss signs not because they're clueless, but because they don't want to believe what's right in front of them. The truth is, when someone's not interested, they didn't always come out and say it directly. Most of the time, it's in the small things. The way she texts, how she talks to you, or the energy she'll give us off when you're around. Welcome to Man Off Substance. If you've ever felt like you are chasing a woman who's slipping further away, or you've been confused by mixed signals, this one's for you. We're going to talk about what it actually looks like when a woman just isn't feeling it anymore. Or maybe never was. This isn't about bashing women or playing games. It's about clarity. Because when a woman doesn't want you, she usually won't tell you straight up, but her actions will. And once you learn to read those signals without second-guessing yourself, it saves you time, energy, and frustration. You stopped relying to force something. It was never going to work. And instead, you keep your self-respect intact. We're not talking about moments where she's just boozy or distracted. This is about consistent patterns. Think she does that silently say, "I'm not into woo like that." Once you learn to recognize these signs, you'll stop chasing what's not meant for you. And you'll start investing your time where right actually matters. So, in this video, I'm breaking down 5 clear signs that a woman doesn't want you. These aren't vague ideas. There are patterns of behavior that'll start noticing once you know what to look for. Let's get into it. She keeps you around but doesn't choose you. 1. She keeps you around but doesn't choose you. There's a big difference between a woman liking your company and actually wanting to be with you. A load of men get stuck in this middle zone where they're present in our life but never really invited in. You text often, maybe even hang out sometimes, but there's no forward motion. Nothing progresses. You stay in the same spot while she keeps you close enough. Not to you, but far enough not to commit. What usually happens is you start convinced that you're just taking things low, or that she's no for something serious. But deep down, you can feel something's. You show interest, you stay available, you try to be consistent, and in return, she gives you crumbs. A dry text here, and there, maybe a quick call. Maybe even a late night hey once in a while, but it's never solid, it's never clear. And that's the point. This is the kind of situation where you are emotionally invested, but she's emotionally casual. You're thinking about how to move things forward while she's thinking about how to keep things where they are without aiming to fully let you go. It's not that she's playing some evil game. It's just she doesn't feel strongly on about you to commit. But shadows want a closet door either. Why? Because having you around gives her attention, validation, and a safety net. It costs her nothing, gives her just a no. Picture this. You've been texting her every day for a few weeks. You've asked her to hang out a few times. She says she's busy but never offers another day. Then one Friday night, she calls you out off nowhere because her plans fell through. You spend the night talking, maybe even hanging out. The next day, silence game. That's not a relationship wielding. It's emotional convenience, and the longer you stay in that space, the harder it is to walk away. You start thinking that maybe on day she'll come around, but people didn't come around when they already know what they feel. If she wanted to move forward with you, she would. If she saw you as someone she genuinely wanted, ya wouldn't have to keep trying to prove herself. Ja wouldn't be sitting in this blurry zone, wondering where you stand. If you find yourself being kept around without real progress, no commitment, no intimacy, no clear interest, it's not an accident, it's a choice. She may not be saying it out loud, but message is clear. You're not the one she's choosing. She's just not ready to let you go completely. Her energy drops moment you show interest. 2. Her energy drops the moment you show interest. One of the clearest signs that a woman doesn't want you is how quickly her vibe changes when you start showing real interest. In the beginning, she might be playful, curious, and even flirty. She replies fast, throws in emojis, starts conversations, and then out off nowhere, her energy drops. What changed? You started making your intentions known. Some men think this sudden shift means they did something wrong. Maybe texted too much. Maybe they complimented her too early, but most of the time, the issue isn't how you said it. It's that she was never thought into you to begin with. Do you like it at the tension, the back and forth theftin of the early interaction, but the things became real? Her interest is upper. This happens a lot when a woman enjoys being admired, but doesn't actually want anything deeper with you. So when you finally express interest, either by making a move, asking her out, or even just showing consistency, Haranorgy takes a deep dive. Replies get slower. Her tone gets colder. She stops putting in effort. It's confusing because it feels like she led you on and maybe shed it. But more often than not, she was just entertaining the attention without thinking too far ahead. She wasn't planning to take it anywhere. And the moment it got serious, it became uncomfortable for her, not because you did anything wrong, but because she didn't want it to go there. You'll not ask this pattern. If you put tension, a woman woes into you, won't get weird when you show interest, she won't pull back when you open up a little. Okay, in fact, she'll usually mature energy or even increase hers. Bout of her interest was surface levelier, for it makes her realize I don't want this guy to think I'm serious. So, she starts backing away. The mistake a low-tech guys make here is doubling down. They think she was into me before, so maybe adjust. Need to remind her. So they start training harder. Longer texts, more compliments, more invites, but it doesn't fix anything. It just makes the up more obvious. When hair energy drops after you show interest, take that for what it is. It's a signal that she wasly halfway in, and now that it's real, she's out. And that's okay. You don't need to fight for someone who texted to meet you halfway. Leather pull back and don't chase. She makes you work for bare minimum attention. 3. She makes you work for bare minimum attention. When a woe manually likes you, attention isn't something you have to earn. It flows naturally. You'd need to keep roving yourself, just to get a reply, a smile, or a simple conversation. But one, she doesn't really want you. Ismalist, bit of attention feels like airword you have to chase. And that's a par. You're the one starting every conversation. You're always the anking questions, keeping the chat going, trying to make plans. And what do you in return? One word, answers, delayed replies, maybe a few dry laughs or emojis if you're lucky, but never are a genuine back and forth. It's not that she's too busy. People make time for who they actually care about. If she wanted to talk to you, you wouldn't be stuck trying to drag energy out of her. She wouldn't be instantly distracted, always saying maybe, when you ask her to hang out, or acting like replying to a message is awkward. You wouldn't be guessing whether or not she even wants to hear from you. You'd know because her actions would make it obvious. What's really going on her is simple. She's not that interested, but she's not cutting things off either. So she throws out just now attention to keep you around, but not enough to build anything real. And Beckos you wanted to work. You start doing more. You tell yourself she's just not great at texting, or she's probably just busy, or she come around, but deep down, you feel the imbalanced dynamic drains your energy. You put in effort, get nothing real back, and then start yourself. You think maybe are we doing something wrong when the is she's just not meeting you where you are. And here's the part that matters. Attention should never feel like something you have to earn. From Simeon, who claims to be interested, respect, effort, and consistency should come naturally when someone values you. If you have to chase scraps, it's not Boca she's hard to get, it's Bocasha's not trying to give. Easy target caught up in the idea of winning her. But this isn't a prize to win. If ya have to work hard just to get basic communication or common courtesy, shisknit in it. And it's not your job to convince her. You're not supposed to beg for connection. You're supposed to meet who wants it just as much as you do and shows it, without making you feel like you're bothering them. She's hot and cold, and it's not by accident. For she's hot and cold, and it's not by accident. One day, she's texting you like crazy, laughing at everything you say and buying separate responsive. Then next day she's cold, distant, barilla please, or disappears altogether. Then just as you start to back off, she comes back again, acting like everything's normal. This back and forth doesn't just confuse you, it keeps you up, and that's the point. When a woman reeled you, her behavior is steady. Who wouldn't have to guess how she feels, but when she's unsure, uninterested, or just keeping you around for her own reasons, her behavior bems inconsistent. That hot and cold pattern isn't random. It's how she keeps control of the situation without having to fully commit. The hot days make you think there's still hope. You tell yourself she wouldn't be acting like this if she didn't care. But then the cold days hit, and you're restic, trying to figure out what changed. So what do? You try harder. You text more. You make excuses for her behavior. Best you're focused on themaments when she showed interest. The thing is, if someone's feelings are real, they didn't turn on and off like ace, they stay consistent. They might have 5 a days. Everyone does. but they won't treat you like a favorite day and a stranger the next. That pattern is intentional confusion. It's emotional control. Being hot and cold keeps you invested. It keeps you wondering what you did wrong, what you can fix, or how to get back to Thosku days. And while you're focused on thought, she never has to fully show up. She gets attention without giving clarity. She gets effort from you without putting anything right. This is especially common when a woman likes the idea of your enthusiast marathon. She likes the idea of factual leaving with you. She enjoys the validation, the comfort, or the emotional boost. But when it starts to feel real, she pulls away. Then when you start to move in, she comes back just and out to keep you from leaving. That kind of push-pull interaction drains you. It keeps your mind spinning and your confidence low. You start tying your mode to whether or not she responds instead of asking why you're avenging someone who is in meeting yo halfway. Real interestoist play games. Doesn't come and go. She's shot and cold. It's not because Shess is confused. It's because she's not. And the sooner you accept that, the sooner you stop giving energy to Zemian you hope can't offer anything salad and redder. You're always the backup plan, never the first choice. 5. You're always the backup plan, never the first choice. One of the hardest pills to swallow is realizing, not her priority, you're just her fallback. You're not the guy she clears her schedule for. You're the one she'd text when she's bored, lonely, or when her other plans fall through. You're no time the front of her mind. You're somewhere in the background, always available but never truly chosen. A woman who really wants you will make space for you. She'll show interest, make plans, and treat your time like it matters. But when she doesn't see you way she won't go out of her way for you. She won't still keep you around, though. Why? Because it's convenient, cause she knows you'll size when she needs something. Whether it's attention, support, or some toffel, the gap between the people she's sexually chasing, hair show it usually plays out. You ask her to hang out on a Saturday. She says she's not sure yet, might have plans. Saturday comes and goes, no word. Then suddenly late Sunday night, she texts, hey, water, you up too? That's not someone who values your time. That's someone how unthrow her options. And when Nanya Fem worked out circled back to you, and if you're always available in that situation, it becomes a pattern. Ya keeps showing up thinking maybe next time will be different. Maybe she finally see your value. But people nightly wake up, and appreciate wave always taken for granted. If Chatrali saw you as a first choice, ya wouldn't be waiting around for her leftovers. You'd already be part of her plans. This doesn't mean she's being genuinely cruel. Sometimes people didn't even realize they're triather, ice like a safety net, but regardless of their asin, the outcome's the same. You're giving more than you're getting. She's not meeting you halfway. Bang a backup slowly chips away at your confidence. It makes you question your worth because deep down you feel you're overlooked, but you keep hoping for a moment when that changes. That keeps you stuck in place. Paranori only shows up when she has nothing better going on. That's no interest. That's convenience. And if you're honest with yourself, you've probably already knows difference. You deserve to Basumion's clear decision. It's not their last-minute option. If she only reaches out when it suits her, she never initiates plans or prioritizes your time. It's time to stop in. She'll come around. You're not mean to play role in your own life. Why men miss these signs until it's too late. 6. Why men miss these signs until it's too late. Most men don't miss the signs because they're blind. They miss them because they don't want to believe what those signs actually mean. When a woman's actions are telling you she's not really into it, it's easy to come up with reasons that explain it away. You start looking for hope instead. Off clarity. You tell yourself she's just boo. You think maybe she's shy or unsure. You give her the benefit of feed out, thinking that if you stay consistent, she'll come around. That kind of thinking keeps you locked in. You're reading the situation based on what you feel, not what you're actually. And that's where most guys there's also ego involved. You've already invested time, energy, and maybe even emotion. Walking away would feel like giving up or admitting it didn't work out, and that's not easy. So instead of stepping back, you double down. You try harder. You wait longer. You hold on to the best parts of your interaction with her and/or everything goals. It's human towing things to work out. No one wants to that someone they care about doesn't feel the same way. But you ignore the signs, the more you start adjusting your standards just to stay in here a bit. If you start tolerating disrespect silency, your bare minimum effort back goes you hope it's just temporary. but deep down y'all know what's going on. And authorities, men miss these signs is because a lot of women don't end things directly. They didn't always say, I'm not into you. Instead, they slowly pull away. They give less and less, and they levy to repent just enough for you to keep hoping. It's a quiet rejection, and that makes it harder to recognize. But signs are always there. Thin inconsistency, the lack of effort, the emotional distance. If you've got to, where you stand, that single quotes sigh hours. Real interest doesn't leave you conthit. It doesn't leave you constantly second guessing or waiting for things to get better. Men tend to miss these red flags because they're fused on potential. They're thinking about what could happen instead of what is happening. But potential doesn't build, connection action does. And if she's not showing up for you now, she's not waiting to do it later. Once Ewok set that, things become a mac clearer. You stop chasing mixed signals and start recognizing what aerial connection should actually feel like. Steady, mutual, and obvious. Not confusing, no training, and definitely not what to do when you'll finally see it clearly. 7. What to do when you finally see it clearly. Anseo, realize she doesn't want you. The next move is simple, but not always easy. You walk away, not out of anger, not to prove a point. You do because time, energy, and self-respect matter. Too many men keep hanging on, hoping she'll change Herman. Hoping one more message or one more gesture will finally turn things around. It won't. At some point you'll have to take responsibility for where your energy. If you've seen the signs, she's distant, inconsistent, cold, unavailable. Then staying in that situation becomes and that choice keeps you stuck. It's not her job to convince you to move in. It's on you to recognize when something isn't working and have the discipline to step back. This is where a lot of men struggle. Instead of pulling back, they hold on. They turn into fix. They try to be more understanding, more patient, more available. And in doing that, they abandon their own standards. They forget the connection is a two-way street. If you're doing all the work, it's not a connection. It's a performance. And, eventually, it burns you out. You've got to wake up to how you're being treated. Stop sugarcoating it. If you feel like an option, it's because you'll feel overlooked. You are . And if you're constantly unsure about where you stand, it's because she's not giving you anything solid to stand on. The right move isn't chasing more, stepping away and resetting your focus. That doesn't mean you become bitter or cold. It means you get clear about what you're willing to accept and what you're not. Woman who wants you will meet you with effort, consistency, and respect. Quanthave to decode mixed signals or earn her attention like a reward. And here's some straight talk. Don't math about her. This is your lesson. Ask herself why you tolerate half-hearted fort. Why you kept showing up for Somi who barely showed up for you. The answer to that will tell you more about what needs to change Andy Youth on anything she ever says or does. Yeah, observe a relationship where you're a cousin without hesitation, but you on liate that when you stop settling for situations where you single quotes re-tolerated, let go of the woman who doesn't want you, and more importantly, stop trying to convince her otherwise. That energy put it back into yourself. Build your confidence, your boundaries, and your clarity. You'll be surprised how messier things get when you stop chasing what's not meant for you. Summary. The signs were never hidden. You just didn't want to see them. It's what it usually comes down to. Not confusion, not mixed signals, just a refusal to accept what their actions were already telling you. When a woman doesn't want you, it shows. And the longer you ignore that, the more time you waste chasing salmon who's already made her choice. Here's some. A lot of men don't like to admit sometimes holding on is just another way of avoiding the truth. Ya LP. No, she's not into it. But letting go means facing yourself, and that's the most guys avoid. But once you do, everything gets clearer. You excuses for someone else's behavior, and you start taking your path. If you've seen yourself in any off seasons, it's not a loss. It's a wake-up call. Learn from it. Use it to say your standards. Your energy is valuable. Give it to Samian who actually wants it, not Somion who just tolerates it when it's convenient. I want to hear from you. Drop your thoughts in these. You ever been in this kind of situation? What signs did you endure? What helped you move on? I'll be reading through and replying, because of these are the conversations that matter. Hit that like button if this gave you a thing to think about, and make Shreddo subscribe if y'all want more stray take like this. You're not alone. Andy are not powerless. Keep your standards. Thank you watching for this video.